Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Lisa Mitchell here, aka Dr. Mitchell. I just wanted to jump on because, just in this quarantine and just kind of the school year coming to an end, if you're watching in real time, I just had a lot of opportunity to really reflect about what really worked for me, as well as perhaps maybe what didn't work so well. So I'm here to share with you 3 things that I've learned really with my first year of teaching high school. Now, a little disclaimer, I am not a first year teacher in general. This is like my, honestly, 14th year of being a school teacher or working in a school capacity. However, it is my very first year of teaching high school. And I did teach 10th grade English. I'm also a learning support teacher. So I taught 10th grade English learning support. So what I've learned, you have to keep it playful. You really do. You have to be bubbly. You have to be a little bit extra. You have to do whatever it takes to get the kids maybe just to smile, maybe to just laugh at you a little bit. That's fine. You can laugh at me all you want. In fact, half the time they were laughing at me, not always with me, but that's okay. I kept it playful, and I think that made it more comfortable for them to establish a relationship. In addition to being playful, I find it so important to move around the room. I teach 79-minute blocks, which is basically like 2 periods into a 1 session, which is what we call a block. And 79 minutes is a long time to be teaching English, aka American literature, to 10th grade students, all of which some level of a learning disability. So, trying to keep them to attend to anything for 79 minutes is a challenge. So I encourage brain breaks and movement breaks and lots of small group work and lots of collaboration and writing on the boards and, going into the hallway and doing all types of things to get the momentum going. For one, there's a ton of research that shows, learning in, 20-minute increments, of some capacity of that, and then having a break is really useful for their ability to stay focused and as well as to retain information. So I'm a big fan of breaking it up, moving around. I'm probably going to do a whole separate video just on brain breaks and some resources for you guys, but definitely keeping it playful and moving around the room will be my number one little tool that I've learned works and that I will absolutely continue to do. Number 2, you have to be consistent, okay? Consistent not only from day to day, also consistent from student to student, because if you are not consistent, they will call you on it. They will call you out in a heartbeat. High schoolers they're looking for a reason to call you out sometimes, so don't give them one. Like, be consistent, be fair, be equitable, right? You have to be equitable across students from day to day, right? So establish your rules, establish your routine, and figure out what it is that you need to be consistent in your class and be consistent. One thing that really worked for me, this high school I work at is, a very big school. It's close to 4,000 students in the high school. It's very, very diverse. There's lots of different socioeconomic statuses. So what I found is that I just take control. I'm also an Aries, and I'm also Italian, and I'm also all these things that are really stereotypically controlling, and I have all of those traits. So I take control. I buy all my students a black and white composition book and a folder. I don't spend a ton of money. I just go right to the dollar store and I have a stash for everyone. I give everyone a book. I give everyone a folder because those are the 2 items that I find useful in my class, and I make sure everybody has what they need, right? So I teach them from day 1 that they are going to get the materials that they need for class. I also have a shit ton of pencils too, because gotta have those too. You'd be surprised how many kids don't have a pencil, and that's okay. You give them what they need. So I have them come into the room. I have a bin for each of the classes that I teach where they all have their books, a bin for their folders, and a bin if they need a pencil. I don't give them a hard time about it. Just get what you need, right? They come in, they get their materials, they sit down. I start the class the same way every single day with a consistency in terms of an independent activity that they get started with, right? So I teach English, so usually it's some type of journal prompt or some type of writing activity to help with conventions or whatever it is, but it's consistent every single day that they walk into my class. And I think that kids thrive in routine. They really do. A lot of my background is with kids with autism, so I don't necessarily teach autistic support anymore, but I've learned so much from those years that are so applicable to all populations of students, whether you have a learning disability or not. Consistency, routine, kids thrive off of that. And the last thing I've learned is that you don't always have to say yes when they ask to go to the bathroom. You just don't, you know? So what I do, because it's a 79-minute block, and I didn't get this 100% from me, obviously I have a coworker who I was like, wow, she is killing it in the structure of her classroom, and I just adapted it, right? So for a 79-minute block, all of my students get to go to the bathroom 2 times per week. That's it. That's it. Obviously, if there's a medical issue or something else going on, I will make those exceptions based on the context, but 2 times a week, everybody gets the opportunity to leave the room to go to the bathroom, and that's it. That's it. They're not going every day. They're not going to be in the hall for 20, 25 minutes at a time. It's 2 times a week per student, and once your 2 times is up, you are well aware of that, and you have to figure out another time to fit in your bathroom schedule, right? Whether it's another class, whether it's in between classes, whether it's during your lunch, you will figure it out, right? If you know that that's the rule, the kids will figure it out. And honestly, I thought I was going to get so much pushback from this, but I honestly didn't. Like, again, it goes back to kids like consistency. Kids like to know where their boundaries are and what their rules are. And honestly, I think when you're really firm and fair and equitable and consistent, they will follow that routine for you just fine. So at first I struggled with, like, how do I keep track? How do I keep track? Da, da, da. But honestly, my school kind of made it very simple to keep track, because we have a bathroom pass that, you know, obviously every student has to fill out, and the teacher has to sign off on it with the time and the time they return and all of that. So there's already a pass that we use that tracks all that for me. So I just kind of like highlight when a new week starts, and I just keep track. So if so-and-so, you know, needs to go to the bathroom and it's Monday, yeah, it's a brand new week. But if Thursday comes along and I know they already went before, I could always just look at that form and double check and kind of track if they've exceeded their 2-time limit for the week. And if they did, then, you know, it is what it is. They know that, or I have to remind them of that. And usually it's fine. You know, obviously take into consideration medical reasons and things of that nature. But for the most part, you know, kids can hold it, or they can figure it out if they know that their 2 times per week is up. Okay, so those are 3 easy peasy things that I've learned. It's my first year in a high school setting, that I think were important for the overall structure of my classroom and for the success for not only me as a first-time high school teacher, but also the success of the students. So I hope you enjoyed this quick little bit into what I've learned this year. If you enjoyed this channel, don't forget to click subscribe. This is my new thing. I will be on here pretty consistently because I like to keep it consistent, and I hope you will join me. Thank you so much. Have a great one. Bye.